If you are stepping out today, may the angels lead you. May peace accompany you. May grace go before you. May love and light surround you. May kindness spread from you. May goodness and love follow you. May lessons teach you. May families support you. May friends encourage you. May God protect and bless you. And may you be filled with love, peace, and joy today. This morning, as we go into moments of meditation, we're going to look at the goodness of God. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy, steadfast love endures forever. Taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who takes refuge in him. He is the foundation of goodness and everything good. He did not obtain it from another source. How great is thy goodness, which thou hast stored up for those who fear thee, which thou hast wrought for those who take refuge in thee before the sons of man. Psalms chapter 31, verse 19. The goodness of God is one of the attributes of God, as well as is a description of the very essence of who God is. God by nature is inherently good. I'm quite sure you would have heard this statement: God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. This is a popular phrase used in worship by many pastors, leaders, and believers. God is who he is. God is who God is. What he does and what we experience on his behalf. God in his goodness is sovereign over every circumstance. He proclaimed each note of his creation good. God purposely brings every human life into existence upon the earth and intended for good works to bring glory and honor to his name. The goodness of God is not only an attribute of God, but a foundation of truth everyone should embrace. The goodness of God is prominent in the opening chapters in the Bible. God pronounced everything which he created good. You cannot separate what is good from God. You cannot have goodness without God, just as you cannot have God without goodness. God alone is good. God is the source of everything good. God does not withhold anything that is truly good from his children. God is in his goodness made possible a way by which man can escape judgment, have their sins forgiven, and spend eternity in the blessed presence of him. That way is through the coming of Jesus Christ. To live a perfect life, to die on the cross of Calvary in the sinner's place, and to rise from the dead and ascend into heaven. Nowhere is the goodness of God evident than in the person of our Lord and Savior Jesus. In his goodness, God provided a way for sinners to be declared righteous. It is not by any good works which we do, but on the basis of the goodness of the Lord Jesus Christ. People can have good traits and good deeds, but goodness is not in our character. Our goodness comes from God. Ways to recognize the goodness of God daily. Recognize God's goodness in his nature. And God said everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. Genesis chapter 1, verse 31. God, our Creator, spoke the world into existence. On the sixth day, he proclaimed it very good. We must recognize God's goodness in people. The people in our lives are part of God's purpose for our lives. We must recognize God's goodness in answered prayer. Answered prayers reminds us of God's goodness. God hears our prayer, and He remains good. Daily prayers and time spent in God's words are crucial, and experience the goodness of God. When we seek Him with all our hearts, we'll find Him. His goodness abounds in the truth of His words. Recognize God's goodness in His blessing. When we leave our lives in the hands of our good God, we will see the good things that He has done for us. We must recognize God's goodness in His provision. God knows the plans that He has for us, plans to give us hope and a future. We see the provision of God daily in the way He sustains us. He is faithful to meet our physical needs and love us through the people He placed around us. Even when life is hard, we can trust God. He has the power to load us with benefits daily. Recognize God's goodness in our breath. Another day of life. Every breath is a gift from God. Another day of life full of His blessings. Often we take the simple joy of breathing for granted. Each day, each breath is evidence of our good God. Recognize God's goodness in His forgiveness. Forgiveness reveals God's goodness daily. Forgiveness was birthed by our good God, who did not have to forgive humanity for breaking His laws. In Christ, we are able to come to our good God and confess our sins. In His goodness, through the sacrifice of His Son, we are able to embrace the gift of forgiveness. He has given us and thus forgive others as He forgiven us. Acts of kindness. Everyday acts of kindness are part of God's goodness. Nothing good happens apart from the Father. Every good work exists because of Him. He makes good all things, even those intended to harm us. The cross is a daily reminder of the goodness of our God. We should take our cross daily and follow Him. Listeners, I need you, if it's possible, to do two things today. Forgive someone who has wronged you. Call on that person and express your forgiveness. Show an act of kindness to someone. It may be a meal and some form of help. Take time and recognize the goodness of God in your life and give thanks to Him. If it is possible, can you lift your right hand as I pray? God and precious and gracious Lord, we thank You for the wonderful gift of life that You have bestowed on us to see a bright new day, a precious day that Thou hast made. We exalt Your name in the name of Jesus. We magnify You for the gift of life, because it was given to us, that You are watching over us. We thank You for the numerous blessings that You have given to us. We thank You for Your goodness and faithfulness over our life. Father God, You saved us, You redeemed us, You delivered us, You changed us through Jesus Christ. All that is good in our life is because of Your goodness, which is consistent and constant. To those who have lifted up their hands and voice, and to those who wanted to but could not because of circumstances, I declare Your goodness over them, over their life. Give them mercy and kindness. Let it endure upon them. Thank You for the goodness which is everlasting. You are plenteous in mercy and gracious in kindness. Your goodness is so enduring in every day of our life. And for this, we are thankful and grateful. For all your goodness, all thanks, glory, and honor. In Jesus' name, amen.
Always comes through to perform his word. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but when I look back over my life, I see God working and I see his faithfulness. But what I also see are times when I don't feel that God did what I wanted him to do in the time that I wanted him to do it. And so sometimes you feel like you're waiting. But I want to encourage you this morning to worship while you wait, because God is faithful to perform his word. It's a real simple song. And when I heard it, I knew that we needed to sing it together as a church family. So you celebrate the goodness of God.
This is Real 91.9, 91.5 at www.drealfm.com. Good morning, good morning, Caribbean. Good morning to the WORLD. Didi, good morning to
Good
you.
morning, Mr. Donald.
And how are you this morning?
Oh, I'm great and under the goodness of God, all because of God's goodness.
Good.
Wonderful.
How was your week?
Well, I'm blind now, so yesterday I had a tough day. But I move early in the morning, so a guy was coming, had to come and some fucking for me. So he asked me, what time does it really get? And I said, go down there, 5:30. I said, okay, I'll meet you there. He come probably till around after 6.
Okay.
So the work that had to be done is about maybe 3 days work. So the man's, starting to work, he's fucking. So then I realized, well, that's okay. It's good of a piece. So I said, well, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. Man says, no. I continue until I finish.
What? You'll meet your breaker.
That's yeah, man.
You'll meet your breaker.
That's why I continue until I finish.
You mean till you finish the entire thing?
The
Or
entire-
just the PC squared up?
The entire thing I cleaned.
Wow.
So I said, boy,
So you had to stay?
well, I had to stay. Because, you give a little, you're giving a little encouragement. And then, well, again, when people fuck for me, they don't do it the way I want to do it. So at the end of the beds, I'm planning to put it, right? So I have to go back now and finish out the ends. So why, I'm doing that. But when I'm around 2 o'clock, with my son,
You meet your breaker. You meet your breaker.
it's all on top of the head, boy.
You meet your breaker.
Take a rest.
right
And I see, come back again. Take another rest quickly. I said, like, where you going?
there.
He born.
Yeah.
See, watch.
That
That last bed, I'll come back and do it tomorrow.
okay.
It's all right, fair enough. So,
But you're satisfied with the quality of work and
Well,
everything.
again, I mean, not everybody could do the probably do like want it, but I could work with it.
You go over it.
Only I have to go back and meet about maybe 7, could be about 8 beds, and I have to go back now and do the finishing on, between the 2 beds.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm planning to plan this afternoon because the rain is good. I mean, the weather is good.
So what you planted?
Potato, like my crop. And you know who the guy is? You believe?
Who's that?
The guy who did the work close by you there. The flock.
Close by me.
Yeah. Close by you.
Corn. Oh, the young guy?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
That's good. Yeah.
Surprised. Yeah, but that's good. Yeah, he's from Roseville, right?
Yeah. And that was, he has grown up in that, doing that type of work. Not new to him. Because he said to me, where I was doing that work yesterday, he said, I used to come here with my grandmother, but he died.
Oh, the grandmother died.
Yeah, she took in that land there. See, I used to come and work with her.
Oh.
So he knew the land, he knew the area, and so.
Good.
He's willing, and I said to him, well, you want me to some land work? I said, yeah, once you go down, we could do some work together. I mean, not from me per se, but, I prefer to, give him, because I have some lands there that's idle. Yeah.
Well, so good for you, but at least someone challenged you. Yeah, you the one who always like to do something, challenge everybody. Somebody challenged you yesterday. That's
Yes.
good. I'm happy to hear that. I'm very, very, very happy to hear that. I think Drumsticks is on the line. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, drummers. Rain by you, girl.
Yeah, thank you, Rain.
Yes, talk to me.
Good morning to you. Good morning to the nation. JD, good morning.
Good morning, Jones.
I read from the word of God, Psalm 71. In you, O Lord, have I taken refuge. Let me never be ashamed. In you, your righteousness deliver me and set me free. Incline your ear to me and save me. Be my strength, my rock. Passes to keep me safe. You are my stronghold. Deliver me, my God, from the hands of the wicked, from the evildoers and oppressed. For you are my hope, O Lord, God, my defense. Since I was young, I have been sustained by you even since I was born. From my mother's womb, you have been my strength. My praises shall be always of you. This is the end of the scripture.
And thank you, my dear. How are you this morning?
I'm there hanging and I'm
You're hanging on there.
trying.
Feeling better though?
Yes, every day.
Wonderful, wonderful. Olive.
Look at my olive the damage of
What?
me chop. What the olive follow and
Oh,
chop tone and then
ouch.
set your running to run push at
Mhm.
may one to me chop that.
Oh. So she in bed?
No, she's in bed, she's really bed lie down, but I have to go to the some doctor, I think Monday, that bone doctor.
Oh, so sorry to hear that.
Yes,
Is it the right?
Which one? The right one or the left one?
is right. Tell me. Right.
Well, yeah, you had to be the right one.
Both are the right.
Yeah.
I had a problem when it moves it,
Move twisted.
twisted and it gets back. It goes back and it always gets back there.
All right, my dear. Well, let's give her a hug for me, okay?
Okay, then.
All right,
I
then.
will. Have a nice day.
Take care, my darling. All right, bye-bye. 20 minutes after the 7 o'clock. I'll stay with us, friends. We've got for you coming up the weather. Is it? Is that what we are? Yeah, the weather in a couple of ticks. Stay with us.
Yes, I'm Coachella. It's the number one. Number one. It's the number one. Oh yes, the number one. It's the number one. Why you disown agriculture? I'm talking to the youth of this nation. And those wicked politicians, like they want to structure the plan. Welcome here to the revolution.
So it is real. It's 91.9, 91.5 at www.drealfmgrenada.com. 21 minutes moving after the 7 o'clock hour. And at around this time, most mornings on Real FM Radio, we join the Morris Bishop International Airport for the latest weather. And this morning, we've got a lovely lady who's going to give us the weather. Let's pause the music and say good morning to Cassia Johnson. Good morning, Cassia.
Good morning to you, and good morning to the listeners. Here is the weather for today, Thursday, 21st July, 2022. Presently at the airport, conditions are partly cloudy. Winds are from the east at 10 miles per hour. Pressure 1013.4 millibars, which is above normal and rising. Present temperature 26.7 degrees Celsius. Relative humidity 92%. Yesterday's maximum temperature was 29.3 degrees Celsius. Minimum temperature last night 25.9 degrees Celsius. Over the past 24 hours, there was 5.9 millimeters of rainfall at the airport, which brings the total for the month to 69.6 millimeters. Looking at the public forecast valid for today and tonight, the weather is expected to be partly cloudy, windy, and hazy, with light to moderate scattered showers becoming fair at times during the afternoon. Today's maximum temperature 30.5 degrees Celsius. Winds east-northeasterly to easterly at 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusting higher at times. Seas moderate, waves 5 to 7 feet in open waters. A small craft advisory is in effect. Tides are currently rising and will be high at 10:30 a.m., low at 5 p.m. Sunset today 6:36, sunrise tomorrow 5:52. Again, the weather is expected to be partly cloudy, windy, and hazy, with the light to moderate scattered showers becoming fair at times during the afternoon. A small craft advisory is in effect. From the Met Office, I am Cassia Johnson.
Thank you very much, my dear. Have a wonderful day. And the weekend is ahead. Just don't do as much as I would do. Okay, take care now. Bye-bye. Okay, it's real. It's 91, friends. Thank you very much, Cassia Johnson at the Morris Bishop International Airport Meteorological Office. You look bubbling like you want to say something.
Yeah, just after the weather. Have you ever seen a rooster on a church steep anywhere on a staircase? Steeple or so?
In pictures?
In only pictures?
Yeah.
You know what that means, really?
No.
Okay.
What does it mean?
Well,
A cock on a roost? A cock on a roof?
on a roof, yeah.
No, I don't know what it means.
All right, I'll tell you.
What does it mean?
This is what I wanted to come in just after the weather. It's something called a weather vane.
Oh, yeah, the thing that...
The weather vane, right?
That's
So
wind.
it's an object that tells you which way the wind is blowing.
Yeah.
The word vane is an old English word which means banner, a flag. In ancient days, strings are cloth was tied to the top of buildings to observe which way the wind was blowing. A weather vane with a rooster was a common one in sight and one of the only symbols adorning rooftops everywhere. A weather vane adorned with a rooster, also known as a weathercock, is a common sight on barns and church steeples and rooftops. It did not matter what was used. The most important purpose was to point which direction the wind was blowing. Why the rooster became the favorite weather vane object? In the biblical passages describe the story of the Last Supper, when Peter denied Jesus 3 times before the rooster crowed. So Pope Gregory, between 590 and 604 AD, declared that the rooster emblem of St. Peter was the most suitable symbol for Christianity. This was the first appearance on the top of the weather vane. Yeah, because of St. Peter denied Christ 3 times. They put the rooster on the church. Very interesting.
Very.
You might sit and you say, what are this rooster on top? Yeah, no, and in particular the church.
Yeah, that's the rooster crowing on the church.
All because of St. Peter who denied
Christ.
3 times.
I hear you. I got you. Okay, we're gonna take a commercial break and then we'll be back with more chit chat with JD and myself. Did you miss me? Did you miss me last week?
No, I did not.
You did not?
No, I did not.
Okay.
When I came this morning, I thought I've seen Mr. Stanislas, but I saw you. So, do I have a choice? No.
Yeah, you have a choice.
What to do? What was the choice?
Somebody's telling me my YouTube reception is bad.
Yeah.
Hey, engineer, check your YouTube. I don't think it's bad. But some people always have thing, JD.
But they always have.
They always complain.
Well, when things don't remain the same, they complain.
No. They just complain. I don't think it's bad. I'm going in and look. I'm going in and look myself. I don't think it's bad.
Is it because of the internet? I don't know. Some source.
I'm checking myself, and I don't think I'm seeing you nice and clear right there. I don't know. Anyway, what was I gonna do? Oh,
Take a
I was
break.
gonna take a commercial
Commercial
break.
break.
Yeah, gonna take a commercial break. We gotta do that with our lovely
You
sponsors.
know, I'm not seeing the light that used to beam inside inside the studio
I
anymore.
blocked it.
All I did is blocked it, got different light.
Guys, something wrong with you guys.
Uncle,
Agriculture, a pillar in the Grenadian economy. Gittins Home and Garden Center, your main pillar for agricultural supplies in Grenada. They supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings, and nursery items. Diesel water pumps, walk-behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. Serving you from 2 locations at Birch Grove and booth number 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gittins Home and Garden Center for the best in everything agriculture. Call them on 409-2175 or 438-4337 and enjoy their services from your farm to your backyard. Gittins Home and Garden Center.
It is said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Therefore, the authenticity of the beverage can only be acquired in the taste. A taste which is original to Antoine de Beauregard Industries and comes from a combination of spices and local rum, which can hold its own all over the world. Woodman, a strength which speaks for itself, a taste which stands out from the rest, bottled with care, which speaks to perfection. Try Woodman today and be stunned by a flavor as never before. Let your palate savor that which is produced locally. Do not be deterred by substandard products. Our taste speaks volumes and sets us apart from the competition. You will be satisfied with every sip of our product. Say rum, say Woodman, feel satisfaction. Now that's quality.
And that is indeed our prayer this morning. That
Yeah,
we
that's
will-
our prayer this morning. You heard it? Say rum. Say Woodman rum.
Oh,
Say rum. Say Woodman rum. The rum for all ages. I don't mean for all ages to drink. I mean like throughout the ages. Oh my God. Next thing, 2-year-olds are in, Mommy, that won't bad play.
you know,
Trouble with
at one point in time, there was the gentleman who was making juice, very good juice.
Who?
And then they went and they added a rum to the juice. And some people didn't recognize it.
And they were drinking?
The children drank it.
Children.
Yeah. They didn't know that they had, I don't know why they did that. They add a version of rum to the juice. But they're no longer in existence. But children drank the juice because somebody said, when the child drank the juice, he feeling like drunk. It was a popular juice, very popular juice.
Local?
Yeah, locally made.
Okay.
Locally made. Popular
In St. George's?
it was made in St. Andrews.
Uh-oh. Grenville, are you happening? Go ahead.
It was. It's no longer there. It no
Was.
longer
Okay,
exists. Yeah.
okay, Grenville, you're not happening
So
again.
the child drank it, the child got drunk. But what when they watch what you drink get drunk? When they watch the bottle, they found that that was the one with the rum in it. That was a bad thing they did. I mean,
That's not good.
that's not good. They should identify it properly and make people aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. The guy's here already? Well. Look at that. Guy, how come you here already? Well. I'm baffled. I am baffled.
Something wrong?
Yeah, something had to be wrong. Or something really right.
Right.
Either something wrong
That's something right.
or something right. Okay. Let me just do some rearranging here so I can capture. Say if you have to capture, you have to capture. Ooh, I think I got it now. Friends, let's say good morning to BJ. BJ, good morning.
Morning, Andre.
How are you doing, my man?
I'm fine.
Nice to see you.
Morning to the
7:30
listening
and you
public.
out?
Rain is falling outside.
Well, rain can't fall inside unless the roof leaks. I don't understand you with that. Don't understand you with that.
Not sure if you know rain is falling outside.
You're not sure if I know? Yeah, I usually hear it.
Okay.
That's one of the issues that we have to deal with before very, very long. We have to do something to stop the sound of the rain on the roof, which might mean not drop the ceiling, but do another ceiling about 4 inches down and pad it. So you do another ceiling about 4 inches down and you pad it.
Make it soundproof.
So that will assist. That will really assist. Well, once we start doing the how do you call it? The television thing. Because that's the next thing. Once we start doing we're already doing that in the YouTube thing, but when we start really doing the television thing, then so anyway, you good?
As always.
Great, wonderful. JD is good. JD found a guy who can really fuck. Yeah, the guy calls him to stay in the line up until what, about 2 o'clock yesterday? Until about 2 o'clock yesterday, the guy calls him to stay in the line.
That'll be the land, but I'll go in the land for about 5 to 6 hours. Once I clear, I get to the land, what I have to do. And then I might probably stay until about 10 o'clock, get inside.
The guy came at 6 and left at 3.
That's good.
That's a guy you need to get in contact with, basically.
Andre, my workers are very competent.
That's one good thing I can say, yeah.
We don't work by hours. Some people choose to work by hours. That's okay. It probably work for them. We have a task to accomplish every day, and we get it done.
So,
If we don't get it done, a certain time we take a break, refresh, and come back and get done. So we don't have like time. We try to avoid the mid of the day when the sun is really hot. But if there is something that we have to accomplish, we will get back in the evening and finish it up for no extra money. And if we have a task to accomplish sometime and we get it done 10 o'clock in the day, they can come 7 and leave at 10. It depends.
Flexibility.
flexibility in the hours, I see.
Not just in the hours. Sometimes within that short space of time, the intensity of production or productivity is so high that you'll just let people go after that. For example, we may doing something like this morning we are harvesting bananas, and it's raining outside, and we probably have to do it in the rain. It may take us 3 hours. After that, there is no sense you're keeping your workers on the farm. Everybody go home and that's it for the day. There are days when you may have to spend a bit longer time than normal because you have to accomplish a task, and you get it done. It's relationship.
Yeah.
This is the problem you have. You were saying, go on, JD.
No, I say relationship and give and take.
Yeah, I was saying this is the problem we have nationally. Relationship between workers and managers. Sometimes it's so bad that workers want managers to die overnight, so they don't have stress when they come to work next day. It's that bad. You have managers that come on the job, they don't even say good morning to the workers. They just walk past. They don't even ask the workers how the children, doing, how they're doing in the school, All you want from them is just work.
production. Yeah. No, but that word relationship
Life is a
so
big aspect than that.
so excellent. A relationship, in whichever sphere, whichever area you are in, a good relationship is vital, very vital. When you look after your workers, and then your workers will look after after you just as well.
Well, the thing is that your workers spend a lot of time with you.
Yeah.
Sometimes half of their life are spent with you. They come in the morning at 8 and sometimes leave at 6. And they go home and just sleep and refresh to come again. And if you don't look after those people and care for them and feel for them, you're wasting your time.
Well, the nation has heard from the Minister of Agriculture through us. He did say good morning to them on the first opportunity he got. So we are waiting him now to make a big national statement, right, Vijay? In relation to agriculture?
Yeah, when he settle in, we expect that from him.
Expecting
That is expected.
Yeah.
And if he's smart, he's going to do that.
Well, yeah, I'll wait that. Other than that, things are just going as they were, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
What is the issue with marketing board? I can tell you about marketing board. I don't know.
The issue, what have you called it issue? Marketing board has always had
Issues,
right?
Yeah.
The present situation with marketing board is that the Prime Minister, Don Mitchell, he indicated on Tuesday that marketing board was costing them, meaning the government, based on his brief, which you would have received from the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture. It was costing the government about $1 million a month. Costing the government. The government had to pump $1 million. That's what he said. Government had to pump $1 million into marketing board every month. That's a serious problem. All right, so it calls for serious restructuring. But what happened is that just when he said that, he qualified it up, put the icing on the cake and said, hey, remember that we can get rid of this. There's a possibility that we can get rid of this, meaning get rid of marketing board. Now, to more than 90% of the farmers in Grenada, that would be like good news. But I don't know how to. Well, this I don't think. I want best thing for farmers. Should they get rid of marketing board? Or should it be reformed?
I would say reformed.
You say reform. What do you say to John Guy?
I'm thinking.
I can see that.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Andre, I want to not just zero in on marketing board. I will get back to marketing board. I'm speaking generally now. I noticed over the last 15, 20 years, there seems to be a notion, a tendency, and I know where it came from and I could understand why, because the co-relationship of forces in the world has changed and people do things and see things differently. And I noticed there is a tendency, a trend, things of national interest to privatize it. And I think in a lot of cases, it makes sense. And in developed countries, probably it makes more sense. However, in developing countries, they need to be scrutinized properly before decisions are made with regard to them. Because if we're not careful, we will be making mistakes that we had made in recent years. Things like telephone company, Grenlec, all of those. We had made a mistake with them. And we need to be careful as to how we rush to judgment when it comes to dealing with those issues. Because sometimes when you make decisions or judgments based on emotions, sometimes you can get it wrong. So I want us to be careful. Yes, sometimes we look at marketing board and we say, you know, these entities are a waste of time. Well, Andrea, say that they are a waste of time, but I made a lot of money with them, you know.
Millions.
I think they make me lose a few million probably too. Would have probably make a few million with them. That's okay. That's where life is. Sometimes, Andrea, you win some and you lose some.
Right.
I think marketing board need to properly scrutinize by the appropriate authorities and people who understand what the mandate is all about. Set it on a new path, support it, and staff it properly, and ensure that it works in the interest of the government and people of this country. If it's not working then, and you have to turn to privatize it, something wrong with you. That's my take on the matter.
I set up. If you reorganize it,
That's what I'm saying.
don't get rid of it.
Not yet. We don't reach to that stage yet, and we shouldn't be talking about that now. I know that was a hint. The youth man, if you're not working, government wouldn't be able to support those things. PM Dickon, I want you to get that little aspect of things in your head. That there are certain things, statutory body for the time being, we may have to, support them from a government standpoint. Just to keep them functional and to assess them properly. And if it's not making sense, and that's not something that you have to turn to, that's okay. Everything that's going to happen in the world, if you look careful, they normally show indications before they happen. And sometimes you don't put out indications too early.
But you made a statement which gives me the impression that you tend to think that this is not going to be a situation where it is reform. You mentioned the word privatization in relation to marketing board. Am I correct?
I'm saying that that's the notion, the
That's
sentiment.
That's what you're feeling?
Not what I'm feeling, that's what I heard.
Okay.
I didn't hear anything different. I listened.
Okay. But you do not believe that we've gotten to where you should get rid of marketing
We're
board?
far from that. We're far from that. I of the opinion that if those places are properly organized, staffed, monitored, controlled properly, proper board members, proper structures in place, you should be able to serve the people of this country much better, marketing-wise. Andre, you have the monopoly for all this bulk stuff, which is the most widely consumed goods in the country. You should be making money.
But the markup on that is small one, because and they use and it's sort of a stable.
How the markup could be small, JD, when you have and you still have scarcity? Well, if the markup is small, then you should always have so you can sell. You can have small markup, but the turnover is fast, so you make money. Or you can do have sometimes.
Well, again, on that situation where you don't have one sometimes, I want to believe most times they would have contract. So like sugar, like growing sugar, they probably would give you, okay, I want to supply me with sugar for the entire year. Right? This is the amount for the entire year, once a month. Okay, so but one of the problem could be the payment. Some probably people might say, I want my money before the thing.
You basically get 30 days.
It depends. No, not
Most of
basically.
the times you get 30 days. Any serious business.
It depends. No, it depends. It depends.
So they're gonna give you 2 days. They're gonna tell
Not
you, okay,
even
I
2
want
days.
my money now.
Some people letter of credit before, as soon as the goods.
But JD, if you're doing business with me over the years, if I'm doing business with BJ and I buy tomatoes from BJ and I've been consistent for a number of years, BJ will get to the situation where he say, okay, Andre, I know you got other things to do, so here's what, your credit with me is good for 20 days. That's because of years.
I know, yeah, you have
But
30
if you
days.
if you don't have that relationship with the person, then you have a bit of a bother.
Yeah, that could be possible, but then again.
And by the looks of things, marketing board does not seem to have any really. It does not seem to have. People, let's do so and take my words out of context these days. By the looks of things, because I know that at one time, Calico had some business with marketing board in relation to sugar, and I also heard that at one point in time, the business place Hotspot had some dealings to do. I was not able to confirm that, but I heard that they had some dealings to do positively with marketing board in relation to sugar also. So, and BJ, you made a very important point. The turnover is great. So if the markup is small and the turnover is great, you're making money.
A lot of money, sure.
You're
shouldn't-
making money.
Then you shouldn't have scarcity.
Because you have and three staples. Milk, everybody uses, especially loose milk. Rice, everybody uses, especially loose rice. Sugar, everybody uses except Andre. Especially, well, it is loose sugar also, bulk as they call it. So you have the three main commodities.
And
You
with
know?
regard to marketing board, myself and Prime Minister Dick Mitchell is singing the same tune. I think I'm just waiting for the melody. I'm not sure if we have the same melody, but we are singing the same tune.
Reform it.
I'm with him on that, and not just that. I must applaud him for the urgency, which he seems to handling marketing board really seems to. This is outstanding. Let's deal with that, and that's good on his part.
But
I just want him to take his time and think properly with regard to that. I know some people, sometimes you want to get things done, and I know when you're 45 years old, I know how you think sometimes. I was there, and I just want him to lay back a bit sometimes and put his hand on the chin and think.
Like me.
Like you are doing now.
Yeah. Well, BJ, BJ, but there's something that is very important to note here. When you speak, caller, we're going to come to you in a minute. When you speak like you're going to get rid of, right? When you give that hint, I thought that the Prime Minister probably spoke a bit too soon there.
That's what I'm saying.
Because any board that you put in place now, they fail already, BJ.
Well, they seem to think so, because they seem to think, well, that is over my head. You
That is
shouldn't
over
put
my
those.
head.
The mandate should be fixed this for me, please. Get it
Yeah,
done as
get it
Grenadians. Let's straighten up this thing.
Mandate them to get it done, and privately you could say to them, look, you have 2 years to get this thing done. If it's not done in 2 years, or you have 6 months, whatever it is, BJ, you have that time to
have
get it done.
timelines, Andre.
I am going to continue facilitating you with the $1 million a month for the next 6 months. But after that, if you ain't get it done, I'm going to do so and cut short. And you let them know that privately, BJ, because when you would have put it out there, it's like a millstone around their neck. They fail before they start.
I heard PM Dickens said recently that it may look long to you, but the election cycle is just 5 years. So, we have to get things done. Yes, I know there is an urgency. I'm saying there can be urgency, but you have to be rational at all times. Or else if you get those things wrong, it can have serious implication nationally on our economy and the agriculture sector. whether we want to accept it or not. Marketing board has served a lot of farmers well over the years. I've seen some people came by marketing board and they have stuff worth $25 and stuff. And you can see, Andrew, they really need that $25. And I've seen marketing board bend back over sometimes and take those, small handbag of stuff from some people just to keep them going. And we have to applaud marketing board for those kind of things. Sometimes they say, BJ, I can't take all your watermelon, because we have somebody there with 500 pounds and they probably give me back 1,000 pounds to go back home because they cannot absorb everybody own. And we expect marketing board to take everything everybody produce. It just can happen.
It can't happen.
Raul Edwards tried that. And that year, I would have gotten about, $450,000? Just by making that mistake and saying, BJ, we will take everything at $1 a pound. So I just give him 450,000 pounds of stuff in 12 months. And he had to even stop me. He had to cut off that fairly quick. Marketing board, and this is just one farmer. Marketing board cannot absorb all this stuff farmers are producing.
Impossible.
We've got a caller. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. Andre, and good morning to DJ. And
You're too close to your radio. I can tell you that already. Eh?
all right, DJ and the next gentleman. I always keep forgetting your name. I tend to support both of you all to an extent because I was one that raised that question or that statement on the other radio station that yesterday, and it caused a lot of talk this morning on it. Now, I think too, as you all have said, perhaps the wording of the Prime Minister could frighten, but marketing board definitely needed to be overlooked into. We had our inquiry, and to date we do not know what come out of the inquiry. And as we say, marketing board responsible for sugar. Every 3-4 months you don't have sugar in the island. And something has to be wrong because all the sugar is selling. So something is wrong with the management of marketing board, and it have to look into. So I with you, BJ, I am in total favor with the Prime Minister. Perhaps, as you say, the word could frighten the board presently, and say, well, you put you in a stampede position. But the board was always in a stampede position. The board was in a stampede position before because up to now we have not got what the result of the inquiry that was set. For that matter, we know that the management of marketing board at the time tried to stop the inquiry from going on, and all that was lost. And so we need to know where marketing board is going. So I'm in favor of that, and I support marketing board have to. I wouldn't say close it down. I'm not saying close it down. I think it is worthwhile needed, but management is important. And if you're not look at something that happened again. Bellevue Estate in St. Andrews, one of the biggest nutmeg estates in Grenada. Right now, it is claimed that for the last 3 fortnights, the workers they can get paid. Something has to be totally wrong there. Something has to be that estate is managed by Mr. Michael Church, as far as I know. Yeah? And it's run by some company or organization from Trinidad. You can have people working with you for 3 months and they're not being paid. Something has to be wrong.
Well, you already established that something is wrong. The main fact that they're not being paid for 3 months, there must be something adversely wrong at that company, and it may mean that it's a good time for the union to step in and find out what is wrong. If they're represented by a union, that's the next thing. Or it is opportune time for the workers to decide, Clifford, you're still too close to your radio. Turn the volume off when you're talking to us. Please, it will do us better. Right.
The volume on radio is not on.
Well, I don't know what you're doing, Bridget. Anyway, let's leave that alone. My thing is to tell you simply this. The workers need to do so and take a trip down to the ministry and go speak to the labor commissioner and say, look, this is what the issue is. You can't be putting up your labor for 3 months, Clifford, and you're not getting paid. Well, use Dodoide.
Well, that's why I'm saying that's something. I mean, but I hearing last week there was a debate on, and I heard 2 persons in agriculture claiming that one of the biggest problems is getting people to work in their land. And look at BJ just said of the good relation he have with his workers. And I believe that if you develop a good relation with workers, you can get people to work. I believe that. And I believe a lot of the estates, if they could reestablish and make sure that you can get sale for your produce, whatever you're producing, you can get people to work. And I'm certain that BJ would be with me. And that because BJ knows he was in Raventwine. Raventwine, around that time, would have employed anything over 30 persons, 30 to 40 persons around that time.
It was 79,
huh?
79 people.
Okay. You understand? And I know that we could get people to work in agriculture if it is properly done. As you say, there are times when a worker work and they have 2 more hours to go, and you can let that worker go home for the day. You have to be able to manage workers, manage what needs to be done. I remember working and look and say, look, today we're finishing that here. Whatever is the project, we're finishing that. And you might finish an hour later than you had to go, that you should go, 2 hours later. Say, okay, we're finishing it. And tomorrow, I'll give you an hour, half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when we picking cocoa, and we was in the process to crack. And the fellow said, leave it. I said, well, if we leave it, I'll be coming back to work tomorrow. We finishing crack on the cocoa, and we did it. Finish about an hour later. You have to be able to manage it. There was a time we were planting banana, and after 12 o'clock ring, and the fellow say, he had 5 more bananas to plant. I say, if you decide that you are not planting that 5 bananas because 12 o'clock ring, then you don't have work for you tomorrow.
That is slavery.
No.
Yeah.
You have 5 bananas to plant. You have 3 men. You plants are out already, and you don't tell me that you're going to leave it.
That's slavery.
No.
That's wickedness.
That's
cruelty to dumb animals. You're a slave driver.
There wasn't dumb animals.
You're a slave driver.
No.
You see, like
you have to be able to manage workers, and I am certain.
Clifford, I tell you honestly, you keeping me 2 hours more on my job, and tomorrow you give me half an hour earlier to go home. That's nothing, you know. That's an hour and a half you still have for me.
I didn't say half an hour more.
You said it.
Huh?
You said it.
No, I didn't say half an hour more. No.
As JD, he's
well,
the pastor here.
You could say to suit you, but there are times when you give up an hour to the workers and you don't lose that.
well, not just an hour. You see, JD, you don't take not JD, Clifford. You don't take slavery to make people work hard. What it takes is motivation. If you motivate them and you keep motivating people, they will work hard. If you people is at the maximum in relation to production when they are at the happiest. If you keep people happy, they produce a lot more for you. Unhappy people can't produce, They're more concentrating on how they're going to make themselves feel well.
I approve that.
Yeah.
And I am just to end. I am at that opinion that we could get people to work into agriculture. It is not a major problem to get agricultural workers. I stand firm on that. It's not a major problem. You have to be somebody who could understand labor, who could manage labor, and once you can get sale for the commodity that you're producing, I think that labor is not hard to find in Grenada.
All right. Thank you, sir. Great. 2 minutes after the 8 o'clock hour. This is real. This is 91.9, 91.5. We're going to take a commercial break, guys. And we will be back shortly. This is your favorite agricultural station. It is Real FM. And number one, you know that, right?
Number one.
Agriculture, a pillar in the Grenadian economy. Gibbons Home and Garden Center, your main pillar for agricultural supplies in Grenada. They supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings, and nursery items, diesel water pumps, walk behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. Serving you from 2 locations at Birch Grove and booth number 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gibbons Home and Garden Center for the best in everything agriculture. Call them on 409-2175 or 438-4337 and enjoy their services from your farm to your backyard. Gibbons Home and Garden Center.
It is said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Therefore, the authenticity of the beverage can only be acquired in the taste. A taste which is original to Antoine de Beauregard Industries and comes from a combination of spices and local rum, which can hold its own all over the world. Woodman, a strength which speaks for itself. A taste which stands out from the rest, bottled with care, which speaks to perfection. Try Woodman today and be stunned by a flavor as never before. Let your palate savor that which is produced locally. Do not be deterred by substandard products. Our taste speaks volumes and sets us apart from the competition. You will be satisfied with every sip of our product. Say rum, say Woodman, feel satisfaction. Now that's quality.
And that is indeed our prayer this morning, that we will worship our Savior from a sincere place.
Yes, agriculture is the number one. Number one, yes, the number one. Oh yes, the number one. It's the number one. Why you disown agriculture? I'm talking to the youths of this nation and those wicked politicians, like they want to structure the plan. Well, from here to the revolution, agriculture was on top. Man Jack and didn't do too bad. After that, you know the whole thing flop. Why? Everybody want to sit down in computer, and they forget agriculture. Oh yes, everybody want to sit down in computer, agriculture, and they forget agriculture. Oh yes, everybody want to sit down in computer. You put me through with a code, and they forget agriculture. Everybody want to sit down in computer. I tell you just now, my brothers, all you go with them computers. We used to ship plenty nectars all the way down to Trinidad.
I'm back. It's something I must do, BJ.
Yep.
I want both you and JD to say that you're going to help me. Even if you don't know what it is, it's nothing that's going to put you in jail. It may cause some people not to like you, but it wouldn't put you in jail. Would you help? JD, will you help?
BJ, of course.
BJ, would you help? You have to trust me.
Always help in a worthy cause.
Would you help? Yes, no, at this occasion right now, would you help?
I don't make them commitment without knowing what.
BJ, Trust me, no man.
Trust you.
Yeah.
What you
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, I know. Trust me, BJ. If it's one time in your life you're gonna have to trust Andre, do it now.
Would I help?
Yes, no. It's not gonna cost you anything in terms of money. You don't even have to get up from where you are. Would you help?
Andrea, man is his word. I don't give my word unless I know what I'm dealing with. If it's a worthy cause, yes. If
Right, so it's a worthy cause. Is it yes?
yes,
Is it yes from you?
Yes, from me.
Okay, fine. I'll get you to go first. All right? Wish Carl happy birthday.
Andre, like major disaster, you know, on that particular day, that catastrophe, you know, Jesus Christ. Oh, you see, man, that make me commit myself too. What the hell is that? Burden your good, you know? Ah,
The man in school, the bloody man from the choir, you are the man.
Come on, wish Carl happy birthday. Whichever how you want to do it. Wish Carl happy
Master Carl?
Yeah!
Boy, before I wish Master Carl happy birthday, I might wish Putin a happy birthday, you know? What can I say?
Come on. You can't do the brother that, BJ. Come on, man.
Catastrophe. 24th of what?
July.
Jesus
July.
Christ.
July.
July.
I wonder how they can take all that day on the almanac, boy.
But happen another day,
Another
they
day change that.
So you never know.
Master Carl, all the best. God bless you, my brethren. Wish you long life. You know, when you get rich, don't forget me.
Yeah. Julie, your turn.
Master Carl. Have a wonderful birthday, great wonderful birthday. I know you're not on island. You did not farming on land, you're farming on sea, on water.
Yeah, you found on water.
On
You take
water.
to another level.
Another level. That's good, man. That's good. That's good. Yeah, so do have a wonderful day, and the blessings of the Lord will be upon you.
I have a question coming from you from somebody here, but let's take this caller first. Good morning.
Good morning to Mr. Andre Donald.
Good morning,
And good
Carrie.
morning to BJ and
Good morning,
I watch
sweetheart.
it live, you know.
You watching that? Hi, Carrie. Good
One
morning.
of a yellow, me brethren have a yellow jersey.
Oh, him. That
Jersey
is
like a
orange.
blue one.
Yeah.
Yes, I watching all the live, but you have to shave that belly, boy.
Who's that?
The
Me?
one now, pointing.
OBJ, JD.
Yes, they got you. Good morning to Grenada. Morning to Mr. Watts. Batty, I know you're listening in Canada now. Watching them. I know you have the link. Yeah, good morning to everybody. Well, the issue with the marketing board, Mr. Donald. There is so much of people that work in the poor people. There are people of the like Forge and Burnley. When I hear the Prime Minister say, I watch GIS News, and he say how much money they have to put there, and they're losing, what they're losing and what they don't lose. I don't understand everything. I don't write as some of them, because them is bright people. I don't write as them. Anyhow, when I hear the man say he don't have to, like, close down there or whatever, what I'm saying is, to my little knowledge and the little sense I have in my head, he can't fix the problem because them is bright people, is a bright, as a team of bright people that could solve all the problem in Grenada, so he can't fix the problem there than saying you go close it down. What about the farmers that have things on the ground now that put on much crop and depending on the marketing board to take some of the things to go away wherever they are sent? What about the people that have their little thing to bring there that they, every week they're taking something? What become of these people? I mean, I don't understand that. He could fix the problem. Mr. Donald and all these experts, all the advice.
No, we
So
don't.
you are not-
But you have to understand, when the Prime Minister says that he's thinking about it and this is something that could happen, that is what he said. And
Well, he shouldn't come on the radio and say that. He should think about it first and do what is right before he come and say that, because he like me and others thinking different than him.
But then again, you have to understand that he's not going to close it tomorrow morning. So the people would have noticed that marketing board will be closing, and thus the farmer would know, well, don't put on no big crop because he doesn't have a marketing board.
But Mr. Donald, what's about those that have crop already on the ground?
That's what I just said to you. He's not closing it tomorrow morning.
But you don't know because he will do things different. He's doing things different. You understand?
I hear you.
Yeah, please, I don't understand. I mean, that's what we vote for in Grenada. I think they should have sit down behind the blackboard and think about it before you say we go do that, and try and fix the problem. Have the meetings behind the board and try and see who robbing them and who not robbing them, and get rid of these people and keep the place open and do the right thing.
But remember, the Prime Minister did not say that he's going to. He says that he's thinking about it. He didn't say that he was going to.
People go close down day and do some other entity there, you know.
If I thinking about coming and sleep by you and sleeping by you, is two different things.
You can come, you can think about it. You know, I'm sleeping tonight. Hey, are you laughing? But I don't think about it. Anyhow.
Take care.
And next thing, Mr. Donald,
Tell me.
why they don't legalize the marijuana? Because I need...
Come with now.
They must legalize the answer.
Wait.
Legalize it because I need to smoke me little weed because what me put out in me.
Okay, wait
So
now. But you smoke. You're smoking it still. They don't legalize it and you're smoking it still. So why you bothering about?
But it promises that.
When you will get it.
It promises that in the campaign, you legalize the marijuana, and Rastafarian in Grenada looking out for that. They thought that was the first bill that passed and legalize it. So you don't
well, you don't pass no bill yet.
And you don't talking about it at all, so I mean they forget that.
No, you don't reach by
all
that.
All Rastafarian, you listening to me, I don't come out and match. We want them to legalize it. So liquor drinking, you know.
Teresa?
You got to sleep.
Teresa, have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Alright.
Legalize it, man.
Teresa? Scott?
Yeah, she's gone. Yeah, she's gone.
Andrew, this is something that we need to get clear on this program. I don't want people who listen to this program go with the notion that we are saying that PM Dickens said that he going to...
No, that's why I said that, no.
We need to stop everybody who say on the track say no. He didn't say anything like that.
He didn't say that. He said that it could happen.
It could happen.
Yeah. He didn't say that it was going to happen. He said that it could happen.
Yes.
Yeah. He didn't say that, hey, I will do this. No, he said that it could happen.
Yeah. And probably it happening can be beneficial to Grenada. You just never know. I am saying that we should try to fix that problem from a domestic standpoint.
That's one of the reasons, BJ, why I think I have maybe about 70 more days. My good brother, how many more days do I have? I have 70. I'm not criticizing. If you realize that, I'm not really criticizing.
No, and we shouldn't.
No, we shouldn't.
And I think I need to...
You can mention a couple of things, of course.
Well, a few things are taking place. And then, like we are talking about marketing board, because PM Dickens spoke about it. And I don't want to sound... And I don't think people should be critical of what he's saying. And to me, what he's saying makes sense. We need to look at marketing board seriously and try to ensure that this entity work.
Because he did also make mention that Grenlec may be sold. He didn't say it but you got the inclination that it's possible he can sell Grenlec, and you wondering, okay, fine, is that a good decision? But I'm not going to do so. I'm going to that now. And then when you hear Grenlec is going to be sold, marketing board is going to be sold, then you probably start thinking, well, maybe he might sell Nawasa. Mm-hmm. No, well, you have to start thinking all these things. Maybe he might privatize all bridges. You don't know. So you pay a toll.
Exactly.
As you go across the bridge, and the toll goes towards keeping the bridge up.
I have no problem with a toll booth on all the main roads in Grenada. And that money goes directly towards fixing road. It shouldn't go in the consolidated funds. I have no problem with that.
Speaking of fixing roads, I came up with an idea. I spoke about it on the radio and I'll speak about it again. Because I went into Grandans on Monday. And they are resurfacing portions of the road. One gang. And I'm like, just spinning up in mud. JD. Grandlands is too busy an area and we do not have the facility available to work at nights to do the job. We don't have the facilities available. What we need to do is to sit down and realize, okay, fine, how are we going to do this? Traffic, we can do something, say traffic going into Grandans, use the Springs Road into, help me here, JD. Springs into Woodlands. Springs into, that's traffic going into. Traffic coming out can use the road, one lane. Do you understand? Traffic coming out of Grandlands, you can use one lane and let the people who paving the road use that one lane.
Yeah.
So you have one lane free and you're doing, you're paving one lane. Secondly, if you don't want to do it that way, you have Sundays when you can say all traffic use the Springs into same Woodlands into Grandans, use that, and you bring BJ. How many gangs you have in St. Andrews doing road, the cruise? What, two?
Two probably.
You have two in St. Patrick. That's four.
Yeah.
You have one in Northwest, and you have another two, I believe, down in St. George's. Yeah. Now, if you take, that's about 7 gangs, BJ. Plus the one that is down there. So let's say you have about 7 gangs, 7 or 8 gangs. And on a Sunday, you put all of them out and you give them a portion of road to deal with. And you lock off the road. So the only traffic going in there would be the trucks with the material so that they can work. So you have all them lacquer and them leaving up here and they're going down. So by 6 o'clock in the morning, they're ready to work. They're preparing the area and they're ready to work. The same truck that they use comes, drop the stuff off for them, and gone back for more. In that Sunday, BJ, you probably can do from where is Islander Gap. Remember that?
Yeah, Islander Gap. Yeah.
You probably can do from Islander Gap, maybe right down to Food Fair, with all those gangs available. One Sunday, you can do Islander to Food Fair or to the roundabout at Mont Rouge. But if you have all those gangs out, and that's one Sunday, one day of inconvenience, and you say the only vehicles allowed in there at that time, emergency vehicles and police, nobody else. Not even the Prime Minister could pass there. Emergency vehicles and police. Not even the Prime Minister could pass. You lock it off and you do that. That, I believe, is a lot better than you having to do so and tie up the busiest piece of road on island. You're tying it up to do some paving. That is not necessarily the best thing. Just thought I'd just get it off my chest again.
There is something they call productivity and efficiency. I think we need to sit back sometimes, and I'm thinking, we should be looking at that from a national standpoint and see what are efficient and what isn't, and make the necessary changes. Too many times we're stuck in our own old ways of doing things. If you keep the old wine in the jar, there wouldn't be space for the new one. We stuck with a pattern that is obsolete in certain, instances. Here we are, Andre, with Marketing Board, and I want to go back to agriculture. When Marketing Board was just formed, it probably was serving its purpose fairly well, But when you think about from 1980, God know how long, to now, 82 to current time, is almost 50 years, 40 something years, about 40 years. Now, Andre, you tell me, all right, that the mandate for that particular institution, entity remain the same, Same buy liquor thing and sell, fresh thing, and you have to liquor outlet. They had bought one piece of land somewhere down in Lagoon Road to set up one big, nice, elaborate something. All of a sudden, things went bad. They lose a few $1 million. They had to sell that place. They stuck with River Road, park house there. Some sensible person would have go and fill up all this space with procurement manager, quality manager, purchase manager, administrative manager. Andre, one person can do all these things they're talking about, one little thing, but you have 20 managers. You understand what I'm saying?
Manager.
And you take up the space. Here we are, Andre. Those space should be using to probably stock up with a shop, a farm shop, where farmers could have go and get cheap fertilizer and other agricultural inputs and X, Y, and Z. Besides that, you probably can have some processing things somewhere. You fill it up with a bag of foolishness, and then you're saying you're not making money, you're not doing anything. 105 little confectionery people who used to produce things in the 80s and 90s, not so now, people produce things on a much larger scale. Do we expect marketing board to take up all those things? Farmers are more efficient now. They do things on a much larger scale. Do we expect marketing board to take up all those things? Well, we didn't change the mandate, and so you hasn't changed it. The ordinance and the operating, the guidance, the manual under which those things need to be operated legally, you hasn't touched that. So if you have them, written in 1940 something to now, nearly 100 years old, and you don't change it, what do you expect to change, Andre? Then you have GCNA stock, you have GCA stock, you have marketing board stock, and you're asking yourself, you have PFU fall apart, and you're asking yourself, what did I do wrong? What's going wrong? Well, what's going wrong is that you never organize the thing properly. You're not changing the ordinance to suit modern day time. That's what is wrong. Unless you change those things, Andre, and widening the parameters under which you function, you are in trouble, Andre, the world in constant movement, development, and change. A lot of countries are planting more nutmegs than you think. Every day they're fitting in acres and acres, in fact hectares they deal with.
Yeah.
And we sit here and we playing around with the little thing that we have and think we safe. We selling it in bags so much, 19 God know how long, and we still doing it. We can't process nothing. We can't make some oil. We can. Andre, with cocoa fat.
Stop making oil.
We stop. Okay. With cocoa fat is the best in the world, And
it's
the
dumped.
best in the world, and it's dumped.
Dumped.
And if you understand what I'm saying, we're finding what is this we can do with nutmeg shells. In some countries, Andre, they make tabletop and stuff with that. Grind it and put it into a paste and put it into a mold and make really quality countertops and all of those things with that. Andre, we're just playing around with what we have. We're not adding value. We're not creative. We're scientists and them stuck in a little cubicle, like air conditioned office. They don't come. A whole heap, Andre. A whole heap, but they lock up in a little air conditioned room. They doesn't come outside. And that's it. We stuck with some intellectuals who only talk and don't do anything. That's how we stuck with Andre. Some people, we send them to be educated to come back and physically, practically transform the society,
Do they?
And they might sleeping on the job.
Yeah, they don't.
Nobody to monitor and control them because they know it all. And because they know it all, they just sit. That's what people that know it all does, They sit.
As to the shortage, to tell you the sugar and marketing board, there could be three ways probably the shortage. One is by they not monitoring the time they get the last shipment and to how long it takes to finish. Two, payments could be a next problem, and the third one could be shipping. That's the three main areas where you probably would have the shortage of. Because I would believe dealing with these people for the longest while, it should have a standing order. So like every month, you say every month I need XYZ bags of sugar, and I don't know how they pay for it, and probably the third major factor could be the shipping. Yeah.
Well,
we have a caller. Good morning.
And you are called back. The man just speak about some of the people sit down in the electric air conditioner after you don't come out. You don't lie about that. And about the people that go out there and study them scientists. How much of them maybe that come back in Grenada to help to do things in Grenada to come back and help the others here and up here. They stay in America, condemn in Grenada, you know. You just listen to some of them. You argue that they and line with some of them. They don't come back and give that service to help the others here. They stay in America and England criticizing Grenada and blaming everybody. And they won't come, so we stop. We like rainstorm with the two rooms sticking it in the hole. We don't go nowhere. And these people that they know cannot fix Grenada. They will never able to fix Grenada. It don't matter what all you say. And all you do, they cannot fix it. Because it's a bunch of hypocrite people that go there for what they want, for their own interest. Not for the interest of the Grenadian people like me and others are struggling today. So you have to use all the big words and say all things. They don't care. They come on the television and they come on the radio and tell them what they're going to do. But for their own interest and their family. Not the hard-working people that make the sacrifice. Oh yeah. So it don't matter what nobody says. They cannot fix Grenada. They're only blaming everything. Blaming. The past Prime Minister. One call out our radio station and blaming Kitmichel. Everything because they hate trade. They don't fix Grenada. There's only talk now. Just now you go here. I won't be calling. But you go here, other people start to call and complain just now.
Alright.
Yeah?
Thank you, love.
and so there
I
are
just want to read something here for listeners who are looking for job opportunities and probably wants to be a police officer so they can get the traffic, so they can issue some tickets. I can tell them where they can go every morning and they can issue a ticket.
one outstanding now. It's in the coffee hole.
You get what again?
$100. Seat belt.
The Royal Grenada Police Force, RGPF, hereby informs the general public that recruitment examinations for applicants from St. Andrew, St. David, and St. George's only is scheduled for Saturday, the 23rd day of July, from 9 a.m. in the following venues. St. Andrew, the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School, SAS, at Telescope. St. George's, the Grenada Boys Secondary School, GBSS, and that's at Tontine, of course. Please note that individuals with criminal records will not be able to sit the exam. Applicants from St. David can select either venue, meaning St. Andrew or St. George's. Interested individuals should be at the venue at 8:30 a.m. and they're also asked to carry a valid picture ID, snack/light refreshments, pens, and pencils. And that is coming from the Office of the Commissioner of Police.
Are they for the people in the area or anybody those outside of the area you call? I didn't get it clear.
Well, those who have made the application.
No. The St. Andrews, where? St. Andrews?
Well, it says here that applicants from St. Andrew, St. David, and St. George's only.
Okay. All right.
So St. Patrick, no, not yet.
Okay. St. Mark's, St. John's.
Not yet.
Okay.
St. Mark's, St. John, St. Patrick, not yet. Okay. Carriacou, not yet.
All right. That's what they're trying.
It's just St. Andrew and St. George's.
And St. David's.
And
okay.
Yeah, St. David's. But those in St. David, they would have to go to the place that's closest to them, whether it is St. Andrew closest, or St. George's, the GBSS, which is closest to them. And that exam is going to be on Saturday. So you have today, tomorrow, prepare yourself, because you have to be there by 8:30. And if you're going to be a police officer, you know time is going to be of the essence. There was another notice here. And Real FM is in possession of some lost ID cards and business cards belonging to one Lydia Lorraine Henry. Please give us a call, 442-0975, so that you can arrange for pickup of your found items. It's not lost again, we found it. Yeah, BJ?
Yeah, Andre, I was saying that in order for agriculture sector to seriously transform, yes, we're looking at the marketing aspect, because guaranteed market is essential for stability and sustainability with regard to your agriculture sector. However, there is another aspect of things that I would like PM Deacon and his Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Thomas, to look at seriously. Is the whole aspect of inputs, cost of inputs. It's too expensive. And we need to look at that right across the board. We cannot be paying those exorbitant prices for things like animal feed. It's too expensive. And I don't understand how we can have somebody producing something for you. It's rather expensive, and you're telling me that I cannot buy it elsewhere because that person has the monopoly. In this day time and age, 2022, free market enterprise, free wall, who neck need to cut out? Somebody need to tell me. Somebody neck need to cut out. And cut out seriously now, put on a stick to, in your own country. Who would have done something like that? That would have enslaved people, from an agricultural standpoint, that you cannot change those things. You can tell me I can't bring in feed from Trinidad or the US because it's being produced here, and what I've been buying it here, paying for it here is more expensive than what I'm importing it for. But something had to be wrong. How are you going to develop your agriculture sector? And you're talking about a big sector, the animal production sector. How are you going to develop it with those kind of issues? Somebody need to tell me. You don't change those things when you're making those decisions. You don't change them halfway. You need to change them in full. And those same people the other day here, they give in what? $30,000 for school feeding program?
Yeah.
Somebody should have buy some gasoline with that money and gone burn down this place in Andre.
Boy, what's wrong with you?
Boy, that is disrespect. Stop this thing.
You can preach awesome.
I don't preach an answer. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Andre? Somebody would have basically take 30 million from you every year, and they're giving you $30,000 and say go and feed your children. Andre, that's what we come down to in Grenada. Yo. Let me hush more.
You can't preach this
I don't preaching those things, Andre.
You're preaching genocide?
No, I just tell you what should be happening. I don't know if you want to call it preaching. Andre, the mad people think, what's wrong with you on that? Andre, dude, we don't want that. We don't want handout. We want a fair deal.
Yeah,
we don't want to crawl on our knees, coming out church with hand before you. We want to walk on our feet. Give us a chance to walk. All you have us done for too long. Imperialism, Andre. Capitalism in its decomposing state.
We've got a call.
Enslaving people still in this day time.
Good morning.
Yeah, morning, Andre.
Yes, sir.
Right. After reading the bulletin with the poll, how to get into the police force, you say no criminal records. What about the people who have a little marijuana? If I had a little marijuana charge, I can get to the police.
All right, so let me 440-3999. As a police, they could answer their questions. I can't answer their questions.
So you see why we need to legalize marijuana?
No. I am not into that discussion about legalization of marijuana. 440-3999. Give them a call and ask them the question that you just asked me. I can't answer that.
Okay.
All right, good. Me?
Yeah. This, I don't know. This all these years with this feed price, and it, something has to be, something has to be done. I mean, I don't understand why it cannot be done. Why it cannot be done? But I mean, year after year after year, it's the same story with this feed price. Same old tune. How and when we gonna get rid of that?
How we get rid of what?
The feed price and the manufacturer.
But I mean,
As Bernard Code, you know.
I don't know.
Don't play. Oh,
No,
listen.
not Bernard Code.
It
No,
is Bernard Code.
No, not Bernard
You
Code.
say feed price, you know.
That was since in Gary.
No, hold on.
Uh-huh.
The feed price and the whole aspect of not being able to import feed from Trinidad that's going to cost you cheaper has to do with the arrangement that was signed with AGM. Is it, BJ?
yes.
AGM.
ADM, not ADM.
Well, ADM, yeah. And that arrangement is a Bernard Code arrangement, you know. That come from the revolution, you know. Don't get it twisted.
But no.
Don't blame Gary. All you blame Gary, a lot of things there. Don't blame me that one, you know.
But Andrew, I've seen some old mistakes made with some old politician in the past.
Yeah, I agree.
And they need to do better than that. The last time we had some issue with the telephone company that we sell the space to or something like that, and we couldn't do this, and we had to contact them to do that because when we sell the company, we sell part of the SP or some stupidness like that, and we were going with those kind of things, and then you couldn't do that in the US. You ever couldn't go and say you're not buying a companies or have part of the space or something like that. Why we are allowing people to come and do things in our country and hold us, ransom? That in the end, when we're trying to come out, or they have a yoke around us all the time. And being around for too long for that.
Don't say Gary do that. Don't say that. But BJ well knowing.
Yeah, I heard something like to that extent.
I was not aware of that. Sir.
That is a revolution thing.
I was never aware of that.
1980 something.
Yeah, that, remember, Caribbean Agro was not there when Gary was in office, you know.
Andrew, I don't worry about too much about people making mistakes, because people who do things will always make mistakes. Okay? I don't judge a man by the few mistakes he would have made. I judge a man by when he making mistakes, whether he can correct it or not. If you can correct your mistakes, then something wrong with you. You're not a man. So you're telling me we make a mistake in 1980 something and 2022 we can correct it?
As Bernard hold together. I have to have a conversation with Bernard one of these days. I have gotten in contact with him through someone, and I told the person, well, tell Bernard I want to interview him in relation to this issue, in relation to marketing and national importing board and everything. And the person came back to me with a message which said, B-Man says, not before elections. I'm like, okay.
Man smart.
He said, not before elections. So I have to get in contact with the person again and say, yo, elections has come and gone. I need my interview with B-Man.
Transform and change.
And I want to hear what Bernard has to do. I want to hear about the makeup of NIS. Because as one person did put it to me, when they did NIS, it was done, and you could understand that they did not do it thinking that the revolution will come to an end. They did it thinking the revolution will go on and on and on.
Which political party that does things and think that they come into
right. So as a result of that is one of the issues, because, and then when we wake up the Constitution,
they say it's illegal.
We didn't pay attention to what these things were doing. We just take them on board.
They say government is a continuum. They take what good for you and leave what bad. The bad thing just come back to haunt you sometimes.
That was not government, that was a continuum.
I don't know about that. Probably could have been around still.
Yeah, it could have been around.
And a lot of things they would have done really bad, and a lot of things they would have done very good. And when you think about NIS today, I haven't seen the disadvantage of NIS yet. I think MNIS has done well
It is.
But
Yeah.
the
as an
problem-
institution.
Yeah.
The problem with this whole thing is that no government sought to deal with that 1958 Act. That's where the problem come out.
we haven't changed it.
1958 Act. If that was changed, we're having no discussion on this thing right now.
You understand why constitutional reform has failed? Nobody want to interfere with the land.
No.
They want to live with 1940 something thing.
Yeah. We've got a caller. Good morning,
Yes, Mr. Andrew.
sir.
Yeah, no, I tend to support BJ there again. I think one of the things that we have to look at is looking first of all at what can be marketable. Put all effort into what can be marketable. Look for lands where you could grow those things and start heaving over agriculture from there. For instance, this gentleman, Mr. Terry Forrester, talk about planting all out at the side of the road, so you won't have to cutlass after you won't have much use for the road gang that after again, that you have a crop there. It's imbecile thing.
But why you didn't call him and tell him he's an imbecile?
I didn't get a chance.
Oh, you didn't get a chance, but now you want
Anytime I get a chance, I'll tell him.
call him and tell him he's an imbecile.
No, you have a lot of land, and the last government was making some inroads there, that you could identify government lands where they are, lands that can, and you have to come and decide what can be planted in those lands. You have to look at the property of the land. You have to look at the means of getting into those areas. There are a lot of places where you could use some tractors and whatnot and flatten some of the areas and make sure you have a market for those things and get into them seriously. Agriculture will revive. This is where we are going forward. The first thing is marketing. You can't tell people to plant something and they can't think 10% go wrong in terms of sell tomatoes. You have too much tomatoes. We must be able to make sure that what you're telling farmers to plant can be harvested, can be marketed. And that is where marketing board will come into some extent. You have to find market for what you can produce. There must be steady market for what you can produce. Hotels, you build in hotels. Not two-person go and sign up with a hotel to give them things. It must be on a broad scale. And I think we could come out of this agricultural issue if we do that. For instance, the estate in Grenville that have the problem, they know that is the largest nutmeg area. I wonder if they had planted any more nutmeg. I wonder what is happening. We have to look at where what can go and make use of that. And that is one of the problems. You have too much land idle. You don't know the owners are selling, they're enlisting, they're renting. Those factors that are put into place. And once those things are put into place, that you could identify this land. And I think the Nutmeg Association had a thing where they're looking at idle lands and they would have said and work it and give the owners part of that and whatnot. We need something with more strong ideas. Why will you take a man land, he ain't do nothing, and you put in all your labor, next thing you come and say, the man getting everything, because he's at home and he's getting everything. We have to come up with better ideas there. And I think government have a good chance now to put a good team together for those things. For instance, you have the farmers represented, whoever will be representing the farmers. That is what they have to be doing, working in the interest of the farmer, not going there and support NMP and NDC. That's when you become a farmers representative. You're speaking on NDC side this week, and next week you're speaking on NMP side. That can't work. You have to be there for the farmers and to see how you could lobby government to bring in conditions for farmers. That's the way forward.
Thank you. Real 91.9. We take a commercial break, BJ, and we'll be right back. This is your favorite radio station, and I've got you covered. You better believe that.
Agriculture is the number one.
Agriculture, a pillar in the Grenadian economy. Gittins Home and Garden Center, your main pillar for agricultural supplies in Grenada. They supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings, and nursery items, diesel water pumps, walk-behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. Serving you from 2 locations at Birch Grove and booth number 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gittins Home and Garden Center for the best in everything agriculture. Call them on 409-2175 or 438-4337 and enjoy their services from your farm to your backyard. Gittins Home and Garden Center.
It is said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Therefore, the authenticity of the beverage can only be acquired in the taste. A taste which is original to Antoine de Beauregard Industries and comes from a combination of spices and local rum, which can hold its own all over the world. Woodman, a strength which speaks for itself. A taste which stands out from the rest, bottled with care, which speaks to perfection. Try Woodman today and be stunned by a flavor as never before. Let your palate savor that which is produced locally. Do not be deterred by substandard products. Our taste speaks volumes and sets us apart from the competition. You will be satisfied with every sip of our product. Say rum, say Woodman, feel satisfaction. Now that's quality.
Yes, agriculture is the number one. Number one, yes, the number one. Oh yes.
It has now moved on to 10 minutes before the 9 o'clock hour. At 9 o'clock we have news, and then following the news we should be having the officers from the Western Division of the RGPF. We'd have had the officers from the Eastern Division yesterday. And then don't forget, tomorrow, God's will, BJ will be having the extension. I know you're gonna.
Master Call?
Yeah.
I listen to him all the time.
Yeah, I know. He's a star.
Master Call, a superstar.
Yeah, I believe he's a superstar.
Based on the quantity of followers, the see that he has.
Yeah.
Master Call, I'm very, very impressed.
Yeah, I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning. Hold on. Let's do something else here. Go ahead.
Okay, morning to y'all and the team.
Good morning.
A lot of noise. Listen now, the drop, I've been listening to y'all for years, and the ball has dropped a lot. I'm not blaming nobody, and I hope that these people now will pick up the ball. I heard on a program why we having all this rebound. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening to you, man.
Okay, yes, and I listened to a program Sunday, and there was a guy who all of a sudden is a patriot. He have faith, mention about marketing, but food. They have everything organized to go ahead, and I wish them all the best. All of a sudden, a man have a machine, and he could do the most thing in the world with our fruit and our vegetables and blah, 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 and he could use the space in marketing good. So let us listen and hear further on what will go on. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to have a lot of Monday morning quarterbacks, eh? So we have to understand and know that and believe that. But, hey, that's the way of the world. BJ,
Andre.
As I said to you off air a short while ago, we're going to be starting to go out into different areas to do live programming on the Thursday morning program. One of the first places I want to come, well, I'm still juggling whether it's going to be Antoine de Beauregard Woodman or BJ at Bathway. You think you could accommodate us? You're not answering?
I'm thinking.
You just
Andre,
take too long to think. This is radio. You have to
Andre,
think.
I'm an old man now, I have to, process my things, properly. I'm not sharp as I used to, 80 odd years now, man. You expect
80?
me 80 odd, You understand? But you expect me to just be as quick as you are. This is the problem these days, All of these young people and them, all they don't have no tolerance and no patience. 100 the other day.
DJ, that is a swing.
What you saying, man? Another swing? And you want some concrete example? The other day me driving, and, in the night I can't see well at all. So one light a flash in my eye, so I must have probably take up a little bit too much on the road. One driver come up on me, When I look, one little lady, BJ, move your old skin on the road, man. She said, what happened, you can't see? I said, sorry, just take my vehicle and go home, Because I don't have no tolerance for old people, Have a little patience, man. I don't want us on the road. I don't want us in parliament. I don't want us as ministers. I don't want us no way. Well, best our old people dead and done.
It's a new word. Can I give my planting dates?
Go ahead, sir. This guy is crazy. Tell me.
July the 21st, which is today, this is good days, 21st and the 22nd are good days for transplanting and good for root crops. And this is according to the Old Farmers Almanac. The 23rd to the 24th, poor days for planting seeds. Seeds tend to rot in the ground, so the 23rd to the 24th.
Of when? This one?
Of July, yeah.
Huh?
Poor day, yeah. And the 25th to the 27th, they are good days for transplanting. Most fruitful days for root crops, the 25th to the 27th. There are no dates from the Magdalene Almanacs.
Okay, and that's the end of it for this one.
For this, yeah.
All right. Your final words this morning, JD?
God bless
Well, thank you.
our nation.
Okay. Based on what BJ just said. BJ, well, those are your final words?
My final words is that, we need to, work hard, work collectively, try to get things regularized, try to rearrange things, try to change things, try to transform things in the interest of the people, try to ensure that whatever we do, we take, we country into consideration, because patriotism should be the order of the day now, rather than we, being, on our own, like a personal trend and stuff like that. And we need to take our country into consideration and do things collectively. There are a lot of problems that can only be fixed if we do it collectively. As an individual, sometimes we think we can fix the wall. I do think so sometimes myself. And I say, if you give me the wall, probably within 24 hours, I'll probably straighten it up. Well, somebody may straighten me up within the 24 hours. So you probably need to be, humble. Humility as the daily word. Too many times we hitch up on this whole social media business to try hot and, each other, and don't understand that we're destabilizing our country in the process. We need to get our act together, buckle up our belt. Farmers, we need to work harder, stay a bit longer in the garden, in the soil, and ensure that we hold ourselves together. Because, Andrew, whether we want to accept it or not, I don't know if you're feeling it yet. The world's going through a nasty recession, and it's coming our way, gonna hit us kind of hard, and we would have to eat a lot of things that we, grow and try to survive on our own means rather than looking outside there and let's hold the fort as we are accustomed doing. Grenadians are resilient people. We will make it. This is just one hurdle. We will ride over that, and we get on the track again. I have no doubt about that.
Because
Gentlemen,
for the big countries that are saying that they're not able to pay the debts, so and I think I said it before, the latter part of this year will be terrible, much terrible.
thanks, gentlemen.
JD thanks a million. I must make it publicly for the banana
What's
bird.
that? What's that?
Angel, no, I just see something in the park. It look like banana bird.
You got that?
That's to drop for somebody. It's not really mine.
You're not very good at lying. Why start now? You're not very good at lying. Don't start now at all. Let's say thank you to Gittins Home and Garden Center and Antoine de Beauregard, butlers of Woodman Rum, for their sponsorship of the hours this morning in relation to our program. This is real. This is 91.9. Yes, you can have your ad specifically placed here if it is directed to agriculture. Goodbye, God bless you, and have a wonderful day.
The number one, it's the number one. Why you disown agriculture? I'm talking to the youths of this nation and those wicked politicians, like they want to structure the plan. Well, from here to the revolution, agriculture was on top. Man Jack and didn't do too bad. After that, you know the whole thing flop. Why? Everybody want to sit down in computer, and they forget agriculture. Oh yes, everybody want to sit down in computer, agriculture, and they forget agriculture. Oh yes, everybody want to sit down in